What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Break Zone. My name is JT.
And I'm Lawrence.
And we're bringing you live coverage of the Square Enix Petit Cup here in Los Angeles, California. We have seen a lot of ice today.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
It looks like ice is a thing. It's a thing. It's working out. Very aggressive ice. It hasn't been the control ice.
Hasn't been control ice. I've seen a lot of aggression here.
Yes.
Actually, a lot of decks we've seen today have been very aggressive.
Correct.
We're not seeing a lot of control type of decks. We're not seeing a lot of wind water control efficiency. We're not seeing a lot of mono water. We're seeing a lot of aggro, a lot of earth aggro, fire aggro, surprisingly ice aggro, which is something we're not used to seeing in the tournament scene.
Fire ice, yes, but even seeing some mono ice aggro here and there. Ice lightning. You know, it's been working out. You know,
it has been. It has been working out very well for a lot of the players here. So it's been pretty awesome. I'm really excited to see ice. Myself being an ice player, ice being my favorite element, I'm excited to see all these different ice players.
I'm more of an earth player, so I don't mind ice being around because then I just play Guy.
You know that guy doing a lot of work. Looks like we're just about to start. Again, this is JT and Lou. We're here at the Break Zone. Thank you for joining us today. We're about to go in right into Swiss round 6, and let's go jump in to see how our players are doing.
All right, and they're rolling the dice and seeing who goes first. High roll. All right. Okay. Look at the top cards if they want to keep them or if they want to mulligan.
All right, we have on our left side Azul Berceres. He comes from, I believe, the Modesto area. And then we have Chris Neal, who we just saw play his Fire Ice aggro deck. Azul sitting here piloting Mono Lightning. And let's see how everyone does. Really excited to see Mono Lightning take on this Fire Ice aggression. I think out of all the decks that we've seen, Mono Lightning has a good shot at dealing with that early aggression because it's got different things that can help break a lot of those forwards. Looks like Chris is going to go first. He's going to pitch a Jill for a Sage. The new, I believe that's the new Opus 4 Sage, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
All right, so let's see if Azul's going to do... Oh, wait, there's plays a Vivi by discarding a Goblin as well before passing the turn to Azul. So, obviously, as we saw Chris last round play, he plays the aggressive deck, and let's see how Azul is going to reply to that with Lightning. Oh, minus 4,000 with a Black Mage first turn Black Mage value.
Turn Black Mage, awesome value. Go ahead and drop in that Vivi right off the bat.
Yeah, there's so many times when you play that 2-drop Black Mage, no value first turn because you want to drop backup.
Right.
And here you go, and you got value out of it.
It's such a great play right there. You're dropping one card to play a backup, which you were going to do anyways. But you're also actually burning 2 cards from your opponent because they had to play a card to play VV to begin with.
Correct.
So you're burning 2 cards and potential burn on the other side. That's a very solid play on Azul's side.
And that's not even Al-Cid yet.
Yeah, right, that is not Al-Cid yet. So let's see what Chris is going to do here. He only has 4 cards and he's gone first. He's already down the cards because he lost his VV. Let's see what he does. I'm really liking the Sage play, but did he already pitch 2 Jills?
I believe he did.
Wow.
Well,
I could attack with impunity knowing that I'm not going to get an EX Jill off the top of that.
I don't know. I wouldn't say impunity. We're talking about Renoa, but as a blocker. That's
true.
That's definitely going to give you something to think about.
I like the Renoa play here, though. You're not going to get a lot of value out of it. Your opponent can easily break her without having much issues, but
I think he has limited options at this point. I mean, he's only has 1 backup, and he played out most of his hand already, trying to be aggressive. So he has to just, do what he can.
Into the Archangel. That's going to stop that Renoa dead cold.
Gotta read that card real quick. Yep, that's big enough.
That's big enough to stop and not die. Sure, it'll get dull, but it won't break.
All right, let's see. Does he have another play?
I like that play by Azul. That's a strong play right there.
Oh, goodness. Oh, of course it is.
Right into a red mage.
He's playing very efficiently.
I like that. You don't have to push very hard. You can take this opportunity to build out your backup line. It's always a good thing to do when your opponent isn't posing an imminent threat to either you or your forwards. Strong play right there.
I mean,
See what Chris is
Archangel
gonna
is definitely gonna get the job done at this point.
Right. Archangel's going to stonewall that Renoa. That Snow's going to come out. I like the Snow play. The Snow play is always a strong play. It's a 1 CP drop.
Correct. So, but let's see. I mean, we're talking about 2 backups versus 1 at this point. Azul could always play a
Azul
guy that's just big enough.
an Alcid, and he can actually do something here. Hopefully, if he
Break a Snow?
he could break a Snow. You know what could break a Snow? The Cyclops. The Cyclops could break a Snow. You know, Snow is good, but he needs to be played aggressively. And you need to be okay with losing him. He's only 1 CP, so most players are going to be okay with losing him. It's not overly bad.
Let's see what he does.
Azul discards an Azul to
Behemoth. To play a Behemoth.
To play a Behemoth.
That is actually one of the things we mentioned earlier about monsters being great against Renoa, being great against Ice.
Yes.
Is that Ice will actually have to start using things like Shiva or Ghoul in order to respond to a monster being activated and declared as a blocker. One of the tricks that it has, especially with Snow, is that as it attacks, or Snow or Kuja, as it attacks, it will get to pick a target to dull. In this case, the target is not a forward yet.
Exactly.
It's still activated.
You have to choose a forward.
Correct. And after the fact, they'll be able to turn into a forward block, and that's when Snow is very vulnerable.
Exactly. And this Behemoth is a really good monster. You pay 1 lightning, and it becomes a forward with 8,000 power. When it receives damage from a forward, you can deal that damage, half of which, to another opponent, to another forward. Right?
Correct.
And that's amazing. And it's a little bit of a misnomer that it says you can only use this ability once per turn. You can only turn him into a forward once per turn. But every time, he receives damage from a forward, he's going to deal that damage.
He's going to trigger.
Half. He's going to trigger.
It's going to be to the forward that is either blocked or blocking him.
Exactly. And it's a really strong monster altogether. Let's see what Chris is going to do here. It looks like he's strapped for some backups.
Oh, he definitely is. He played out his hand very early, very fast.
Right.
And at this point,
I'm telling you, pitching those 2 Jills might not have been a good idea.
But he doesn't have a target for it now at this point.
Well, not just a target. You just want some backups.
True.
Right? You just want some backups. Is he going to go ahead and try to do a party attack here?
He just might. Party attack might really hurt, actually.
Well, he's going to party attack. He's going to dull the Archangel.
Correct.
And then it's going to force Azul.
Hold on. They're going to call for a judge, double check that the course of events that they want to follow through with is going to be the correct one.
Right. So the question here is, if they party attack and Behemoth then turns into a forward, when Behemoth receives damage from a forward, deal that forward half of his damage. Now, party attack doesn't necessarily mean they're one singular forward, meaning they deal one source of damage. I believe, if I'm correct, might not be correct here, that both of those damage sources would trigger.
I mean, in this case, for example, what you could do is you block with Behemoth, you kill the Snow, and you can't divide the damage, can you?
Right, so...
Kill one but not the other.
Right. And we'll see how this plays out. Behemoth, again, it's one of these new cards, these new monster cards. We don't quite know how it's going to go.
And with a Goblin.
And
pitching a Cloud.
Pitching a Cloud to play a Goblin. Goblin's a monster that's going to give your forwards first strike.
No, haste.
Oh, haste, I'm sorry. Haste. And you get to draw a card.
Correct.
So.
In this case, I don't know how great that is. I mean, we're talking about the fact that he had no fire backups, and in order to put out that Goblin, instead of paying the 1 from the fire backup,
definitely overpaid.
He discarded a card to do it.
Right.
So now with a stalled board state, it looks like Azul is actually in a controlling position.
Yeah, I agree. I think Azul is going to have opportunities here to either build out his backup line or make plays for 2 or 3 plays down the road. That'll help set him up for hopefully some damage coming in. He's going to go ahead and discard his Ramza
and there's an
into
Alcid.
He's going to target the
snow.
He's going to play the Black Waltz. Wow. Let's go ahead and bring up that Black Waltz for everyone to take a look at.
Black Waltz is another very efficient card. I mean, he's running Archangel EV already, which is efficient as a 3-drop that can take on 8Ks, even though it's 6K. Black Waltz is similar in that fashion where he comes in at 6K, but if he were to go to the break zone, he would also give a forward minus 2,000 power.
Right, and that's exactly what happened. And we have Snow going into the break zone there.
And then he seems to have attacked with the Archangel and flipped the Snow off the top as well.
Wow, that is just that's a lot of tempo. That is a lot of tempo being lost right there.
So in terms of what Snow means to you when you only have one ice backup,
right?
He is one of your favorite.
He's a possibility to play. Exactly.
Play.
So we're now on Chris's turn. He's drawn his 2 cards. He's thinking about what to play. He needs to answer something. That Renoa by herself is, like we were just talking about, Renoa really shines when you have Fatal on the board in terms of forwards. And you can go ahead and swing Renoa, causing your opponents to take it or block and die. But Renoa is pretty useless by herself. He's going to play into the Genesis. And let's see who he chooses here. He's going to go ahead and choose the Archangel to freeze.
I don't know, it's a little bit tough. I mean, while the Renoa is going to keep him alive for a bit, Azul has not taken any damage yet. So he is not close to lethal.
Nope. He's not close to lethal. He's going to go ahead and pop the Goblin to give his Genesis haste. Genesis haste, right.
And I think he really just wanted to draw the card. Let's see what he does.
It looks like he just needed to draw the card. And while he's pitching a backup.
In order to play Cloud, he's able to deal 7,000 damage to something.
He's going to deal it to Black Waltz.
Alright.
Black Waltz is going to go ahead and ping because he's leaving the field to lose 2,000 power to Genesis. Dropping Genesis down to 5,000, although Genesis has first strike.
No, Genesis does not have first strike.
Oh, has haste, I'm sorry.
Yes. Alright. Now that Genesis has minus 2,000 though, he is no longer going to go over Alcid.
Exactly.
And that's going to be an issue. On top of the fact that if Azul were so inclined to do so, he can always
still block with Behemoth.
Behemoth, correct.
Right. Okay, it looks like Chris is done with his turn. Azul just drew another Black Mage. Can he do something here with that Black Mage?
He can do a lot with the cards that he has right now.
He's got a lot of cards. He's got 4 cards in his hand. Let's see what
it's not going to be easy though. I mean,
the
Cloud and the Renoa and the Genesis are still hefty enough. 7K is not huge, but it's big enough to make a dent.
Exactly.
That Behemoth is just
taking a look at Behemoth
staring back at you. That little monster. Have you no heart, Behemoth?
Behemoth is a very good monster. And I'm surprised you didn't put him on your list.
I mean, I could have. I think I wanted to talk about some of the, kind of spread the wealth a little bit on some of the elements, as well as some of the cards that have changed things around a little bit more. I mean, in terms of what Behemoth does, he's very good at either being offensive or defensive against really bigger guys. But in terms of what some of the other cards did that I talked about, like Magic Pot or Dragon, it definitely felt like it was a little more impactful at times than just a guy that can get big and kind of gets around some of these abilities. And also, I just didn't want to make the video too long. Really, it was like 1 a.m, man.
I think everyone appreciates that.
Yeah, I mean, I could have talked about every monster. I thought about it, but you know what? 20 to 30-minute video might have been a bit much.
So moving on back to the game, it looks like Azul hasn't made a play yet. I think we've gotten some clarification, at least on Chris's side, about how the Behemoth is actually going to work. I actually think Chris has a pretty advantageous board state.
It's not bad, but it's not great. Like if it was something like if Azul was at 4 damage, this would be a much bigger deal. But that's not the case at the moment. Azul has not taken any damage yet.
So that Renoa is not that useful right
So
now.
now you're staring at like, hey, I have 3 guys are just a little bit like just there.
He's gonna play the 1-drop summoner. Wow,
the
taking a
evoker?
page
One of
from
the evokers?
yeah.
Oh,
Taking a
somebody-
page from the Japanese meta, playing a 1-drop backup just to ramp. And we actually haven't seen this since the beginning of Opus 1 here in the Northern America meta. So it's interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, usually if I have a choice between a 1 CP or 3 CP, I usually pick a 3 CP that has an effect. In this case, something that people have been liking a lot more is having the ability to play that 1 CP.
Right.
But I do personally find that my backup slots get filled up pretty quickly.
Right.
And having that 1 CP backup kind of gets in the way for me.
Right, but we know that looking at what Azul is playing, is he playing Lulu? It does not look like he's playing heroic Lulu. So his backup line is definitely going to be static. Not a lot of things are going to be able to break in his backup line. Looks like Chris is going to go ahead and swing with Genesis here.
Ooh, let's see if...
I don't know if Azul wants to let this through.
I would not want to let that through at all. I mean, he's trying to play the efficiency game at this point. I mean, playing Summoner, there's definitely a reason why you're doing that. You don't want to pitch your cards to play another backup if you do have one.
Is he going to sacrifice? Oh, wow. What is he doing here? Wow, he is going to Exodius right here.
Exodus.
He's going to choose a number.
Is he going to pick 3? Or
I think he might pick 3.
I think he might just board wipe here. I think the play he's going for is wipe the one of the 3.
With the Behemoth left.
And then, yes, the Behemoth comes in, blocks the Genesis, kills the Genesis, breaks the Genesis.
Let's take a look at this card so that everyone understands what's
going
on here. And
it's an awesome card.
It's a great card. One of those awesome cards from Opus 3.
It's a huge card. I mean, you call out a number and you break forwards, and your opponent calls out a number and break those forwards as well.
Right. I believe the active player has to choose first.
Correct.
So it's up to Chris. Looks like he's going to break 3.
Oh, they just left 3 as is.
Oh, okay. Pull over. He's going to discard his cards. He has no cards to discard, so that's a solid play.
I'm surprised he didn't activate his Behemoth. I wonder what he was thinking that his opponent had in hand.
Right. I would have definitely activated the Behemoth block and then swung in with Alcid. Oh, and here comes another Cloud. Just to ping that Alcid. That Cloud is doing some work.
If he activated for Behemoth, that would not have happened. Genesis is a 7 character, and Cloud needed that 7 character to be on the field in order to activate.
Wow, well, you're not sure when your opponent's going to play that Cloud. We're seeing that Cloud being played a lot, actually. I'm actually quite impressed with how people are using that Cloud.
Actually, it's just the same guy twice, guy. It's just Chris that's been playing it.
Right,
but it's a good card.
It's a good card.
I mean, when you play that efficiency game, Cloud does get there. It does his job. All right, let's see. Chris's turn. It's funny to see, though. I mean, in terms of board position, who do you all say is better off at this point? The guy with 4 backups and 1 monster, or the guy with 1 backup and 2 forwards?
I'm just going to say the guy with 4 backups and 1 monster.
I don't know. It's tough to tell.
Is he going to take that damage?
That's only 2 damage. It's not too... well, it's not... Emperor wasn't too effective against Chris anyways.
True. He's got to block this. He does
really
not
should.
want to... Yes, he has to block it. He does not want to lose that card in his hand.
All right, and Genesis goes away.
Genesis goes away.
Let's see what Chris has in mind. Oh,
Looks like
the head grab.
The head grab.
Deep thinking mode.
All right.
2 cards
Chris
in
only
hand.
has 2 cards in his hand. He's got to make some decisions. And this is why I give Azul the upper hand. He has to make decisions right now based on what cards his pitch. Azul, every card he draws is easily playable without extra pitching.
That's correct.
I give him the upper hand. He might be down in damage. I still give him the upper hand.
I'll have to agree with you on that one. I mean, especially now that Genesis is off the board.
Right.
I still think Azul... I'm still surprised Azul did not try to just kill off the Genesis last turn. That would have actually saved off his.
And these 2 cards that Azul's going to draw here, he can play whatever cards he wants. With 4 backups, hopefully
Correct.
he didn't draw it. Oh, looks like he drew into backups. But he can pitch to play the Searcher to get a Knight out that can maybe be able to help him.
Correct.
What Knight is he going to grab?
I'm gonna try to think.
Let's see.
Could be.
Is he going to grab a Ramza?
He might just grab a Ramza.
Ramza's not that helpful to him right now, though.
Ramza's not that bad.
He's going to... Oh, Ramza's not bad, but he's not super helpful. But he does have the backup line to actually support using this Ramza.
Correct. You're correct.
Is he going to play that Ramza right now? Or is he going to leave the Behemoth to block the Cloud? It's going to get through. The Behemoth can kill the Cloud and not die.
That's correct. So I think that's what's going on in his head right now. Do I want to play this guy? Or do I just want to keep Behemoth?
I think it's best to keep Behemoth and play your efficiency game. You're not in imminent danger right now. That 1 Cloud isn't going to do 5 points of damage to you.
True, I think at the point where you're at 2 damage versus 1 and you have the board advantage, you're in no rush.
But if he plays the Ramza now, he won't have the resources to protect that Ramza if something were to happen.
Oh, or is he doing it now?
Oh, looks
He is
like
doing
he
it right now?
Okay. He's gonna have to make sure that he tries to protect that Ramza as best as he could. He doesn't have the CP to do it. He can also block with Behemoth.
Correct. I think his most likely play is that he would block with Behemoth so that he doesn't have to trade.
Yeah.
Or he's trying to draw out the damage from
Exactly.
Chris's hand
Yeah.
in order to take out Ramza and keep Behemoth around, as Behemoth's body is actually quite large for Chris to handle.
Exactly. And Chris has to pitch cards to play stuff. He just doesn't have the resources on the board. So he's going to pitch a Shiva. Is he going to play that Shulky? Play that Shulky into a Godot. Into anything
With no cards in
else?
hand, not getting the value out of the discard.
Nope, he is not. He's going to go ahead and attack with that Cloud.
2 cards in hand for Chris, but he's really pitching cards to play just about
He
everything.
is pitching a lot of cards to play these things. Azul's going to go ahead and take that, flips over Summoner, which is a great card to flip over because he doesn't need it. His backup line is full.
No, that's
now
good.
he can draw 2 other cards. Hopefully he can play both of these cards.
We'll just have to see.
Does he have anything here?
He doesn't even have to do
He
anything.
does have an idea in his hand.
He doesn't need to. He really doesn't need to push for anything. As long as he gives first strike to Ramza and plus 1,000, he could just take out the whole board.
That's true.
Or attack.
I would not attack. I would just save it for defense with the first strike.
Maybe he has something in mind.
Because that first strike is till end of turn.
Correct.
So you can keep blocking everything that he throws. It will literally stop your opponent from attacking.
Yeah, I would
have definitely saved him for defense.
I would have actually done it that way, most likely. Correct. Oh, and he's playing 4 for...
He's gonna go ahead and play the idea.
6 for Idea. And most likely targeting Cloud. Cloud's the biggest forward on the opposing end.
Yeah.
There you go. Cloud breaks. Keeping one lightning backup active, ready to activate a Behemoth.
Yep. And again, efficiency. I'm always going to give it to the person that has the most backups, even if they're not quite winning. They're going to stabilize, hopefully, eventually. Every card that Azul plays now, draws, he can play without pitching. You can't say the
Actually, he
same
had to pitch
thing.
for Idea.
Well, it's
Idea's
true.
quite big.
Idea is a lot larger, yes. Most cards in his deck.
Oh, let's see. Is that... Wait. Oh, he forgot to pitch a card to play
Right.
the Idea. There you go. That was...
It's a good honest call here on Azul.
It was his only card in hand, so it's not like he would have picked anything different.
All right, looks like he's going to play another stage here. Pitching the Swamp Maw. And I don't think he's going to attack. Yeah.
Nope.
And this right here is where Azul wrestles back board control.
He has wrestled it back
right
already. No, he's wrestled it back already.
I feel like right now he's going to make a turn, and he's going to attack, and either put a point on damage, or he's going to save that Ramza the block and attack with a Dia.
I think he just might attack with both. I think what he's doing is keeping the Behemoth ready for any kind of Shiva shenanigans.
Flip over a Marauder on that side.
There you go.
He literally doesn't have to play any of his cards.
He doesn't.
He could just keep his cards for resources. And he's going to put 2 points. Wow.
Yep.
2 points of damage there. Now he can play cards, knowing that the 2 points have already gone through. He needs to save 1 to activate Behemoth. He brings out a Dragon. Wow. Now he can just crack things whenever he wants out of 4 or less. He's going to save it because Shelky and Godot are not a big issue for him. He's going to wait for the proper form. Now, what Chris can do is sacrifice his stage to freeze both Ramza and Adia, saving him some points of damage.
He could, but
that's going to really hurt his backup line.
Correct.
Does he have cards in his hand to actually do that? You need to draw 2 ice.
I don't even know if he has an answer to the Behemoth.
No, I do not think so. Looks like he's pitching a Cloud to play a Marauder.
That could do the trick. But it's not hasted, so they won't be able to be active. So one of the things about Marauder is it does get bigger, but only on the attack, not on the defense.
Yes.
Alright, so it looks like Chris is loading up his field. Trying to see if maybe he's trying to
If I was
overtake
Azul now, I would pop one of those guys with my Dragon. And then attack. Well, his Ramza is frozen from the Sarah.
Oh, that's correct. I'd forgotten that.
Alright, let's see what Azul does here.
I'd forgotten that Godot helped Sarah
Go ahead and attack with the
trigger her attack.
Dia. That's good. Keep the pressure on. Putting 5 points of damage over here on Chris here.
And he's still got all his backups active at this moment.
He does still have all his backups ready to go. Looks like he's going to make another play here. He's going to bring into the Black Waltz.
Ooh.
He's going to go ahead and drop that Marauder, I believe. Right? Marauder's going to go down. It's only 1,000 points right there. That was a very strong play on Azul's end. Piloting Mono Lightning here to his.
I think Chris was really going to rely.
Oh, the Magus right there, dropping down to Godot.
I think Chris was really going to rely on the Marauder to get through for some damage.
Exactly.
And Black Waltz just came in and just
right. And again, you see the backup lines working so hard for Azul. He just has access to more resources.
Yes. At this point, Azul has the luxury of doling and breaking his backup for abilities,
right?
Because he just has other backups ready whenever he needs to.
Exactly. He's going to bring the Genesis. He's going to dull freeze. There. Is he going to try to do some type of damage here? Remember, still has that Behemoth out.
Oh, could be a party attack.
I would break that Genesis right now with the Dragon. Is he going to do that? No, he is not going to do that.
Alright, let's see.
See if Azul can do something here. He's got a Cyclops in his hand. And another Adia. He should just swing with the Adia and not do anything and see if it blocks. Maybe he could take something out with it.
I don't know. at this point he just has so many options available to him that let's see which way he wants to go.
All right, looks like he's going to go ahead and pitch the. He's going to
He'll say Seymour to break a forward. Probably there you go, Sarah.
He's going to break. Hopefully, use a dragon to break the Genesis right now.
He could just wait it out anyway.
He could just
actually
attack and win, or severely hamper.
Correct.
Okay, now he can win.
All right. Looking at 6.
Yes, if he goes ahead and breaks the Genesis with the dragon, he can go ahead and turn Behemoth into a monster and swing.
Into a forward
and swing.
Swing and then finish it off with a DI if needed.
Yep, I think that's what he's going to do.
He's not even going to break.
Oh, he's just going to attack.
Yeah.
And then
not sure that was a...
break. Use the dragon to break the Genesis and then swing and win.
Or he's going to do the idea play? Hold on, let's see how many... Oh, with the Odin.
He could have just won. I think he could have just won.
He could have just won.
He could have just used the dragon and broken the Genesis and swung.
Instead of playing the...
Oh, I think it's up to time. And Chris, seeing that the time is up, that's conceded. I think the writing was on the wall there.
He drew 2 cards and knew that he wasn't going to win this one.
Right. And then, it was only a matter of time. I really honestly think that Azul would have won that turn before.
Correct.
And it's a good match. It was good. What do you think? Tell me about what you think here.
That's definitely a thing about how if you play that aggro game and somehow somebody stabilizes against you and you're not ready to keep the pressure on, it's really going to hurt. Especially with only one backup out and eventually getting to that second one. He just ran out of gas.
He did. He ran out of gas.
Some of these aggro decks are like, you can think of it as little race cars with a tiny little fuel tank.
Yeah.
But a lot of power. You're gonna get 0 to 60 in 2 seconds flat.
Right.
But then you're gonna run out at the 3rd mile.
Right, and we were just talking about how out of all the decks that we've seen, Mono Lightning can deal with this. Because all you have to do is bring out, like we just saw, a Behemoth or an Archangel or anything like that. You can really deal with you can really deal with a lot of this early aggro by just stopping the aggro with a much bigger creature. And fortunately for Lightning, they have access to Behemoth now, which is huge, and Archangel, which is
Dragon,
huge.
He was playing a lot of value cards. I mean, there's times when I think about it, and I'm like, the Archangel, it's only 6,000. He's gonna get popped by a Bermuda or something like that. And just in this case, when they're playing forwards against forwards, those guys actually count almost as 8K.
Right.
And the fact, one of the key plays I saw was that black wall sticking out the Marauder.
Oh, that was a great
huge.
Play. Great play. And this is just so. I like the first play where he got rid of that Vivi with the Black Mage.
Oh yeah.
Just right off the bat. I'm just gonna attack you right off the bat and make you lose the card advantage. Just like that.
It was first turn Black Mage for value.
Exactly. Wow. Maximum value, which is really, really good. I like how Azul was able to recognize that his life wasn't in imminent danger. Correct. So he built up his back life.
Yes.
And that proved to be paramount to him winning. He was able to play everything he wanted to play as he drew it, as he got it. He didn't have to worry about anything. He had so many more options. Chris is sitting here just trying to play as best as he could, trying to catch up, just not enough resources.
Correct.
Fantastically played by Azul. Well done.
He was well in control throughout, from beginning to end. And Chris earned that spot up there. He definitely got up to the first table two times in a row.
Yeah,
here he's something coming in.
Yeah, both players. I expect to see both of them in our top cuts.
All right.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and take a little break before Swiss round 7, which is our last round of Swiss. So be sure to stay tuned as we take you to the last round before we make the top cuts, and then you get to see the cream of the crop. Once again, my name is JT.
And I'm Lawrence.
And we're the Break Zone, and we're coming at you live from Los Angeles, giving you coverage of the Petit Cup right here with all of the Meta Potion players and all the best players here in Northern America. So stay tuned. We'll see you in a bit.